All right. Well, good morning and welcome. We are so glad to have everyone with us today. I'm Jay Perry, CEO of the Phoenix Local Organizing Committee, which collaborates with the NCAA to host the 2024 Men's Final Four. 80 days from today, the national semifinals will tip off on Saturday, April 6th at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, with the national championship game on Monday, April 8th. We've been working for years as a community to prepare for Phoenix's second Final Four. We promise that it will be an absolutely unforgettable experience for the visiting teams, alumni, fans, media, and our NCAA corporate champions and partners, as well as all of our Arizona locals. We thank the NCAA for selecting Phoenix and entrusting us with the crown jewel of collegiate athletic championships, the Men's Final Four. Basketball is the ultimate team sport. The same concepts that lead to victory on the court, as we saw last night with our Phoenix Suns: unselfishness, attention to detail, hustle, and quite a bit of hard work. All those things will also enable us to deliver a spectacular Men's Final Four. Our team includes Arizona business, Native American, tourism, and sports leaders, as well as numerous municipalities, elected officials, and a talented staff, all working together under one banner. I would like to recognize the Phoenix Local Organizing Committee Board of Directors that are with us today, starting with our co-chairs, Tom Sadler from Arizona Sports and Tourism Authority. Big round of applause for Tom. And Ron Price of Visit Phoenix. Thank you, Ron. Along with our other board members, Ray Anderson, Andy McCain, Brooke Tadar, Lisa Urias, and Ken Van Winkle. The board is made up of community leaders that provide wonderful guidance and resources. We'd also like to recognize a few others. Mike Chismar, Senior Athletic Director, Operations and Facilities at Arizona State University, the host institution for the Men's Final Four. Thank you to you and the entire team at ASU. Where are you, Mike? Thank you, Mike. Also, Council Member Lisa Garcia of the Auction Indian Community and Trina Parvello of the Tohono O'odham Nation. Thank you for being with us. In the Valley, we're fortunate to have strong public support, and for that, we thank the cities of Avondale, Glendale, Peoria, Scottsdale, Tempe for their partnerships, as well as, of course, the City of Phoenix, our host here today. Thank you to all of you. The Men's Final Four is truly a community effort. We could not possibly execute an event of this magnitude without the help of nearly 1,500 volunteers who will generously donate their time and talent to roll out the Arizona red carpet. And the Men's Final Four, as you'll hear today, is much more than a basketball tournament. It's a 4-day community celebration, and there's absolutely something for everyone. And through legacy initiatives, we will discuss today the impact of the 2024 Men's Final Four will be felt long after the national champion is crowned at State Farm Stadium. The speakers today will describe some of these components to give you an idea of what makes the Men's Final Four a larger-than-life event. One important initiative that we've already launched is Read to the Final Four. It's a free statewide contest to inspire Arizona third graders to accelerate their reading skills in a bracket-style competition. The champion school and readers will be crowned on Friday, April 5th. And we're thrilled to share that already we have 15,350 Arizona third graders participating from 59 school districts and 240 schools across the state, including 150 Title I schools. And yes, we are excited about it. And I have to tell you, these third graders have already read more than 10 million minutes combined, and they are just getting started. You'll notice that many of us are wearing sneakers today. We are recognizing the 30th anniversary of Coaches versus Cancer, and we'll have more on that later. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Arizona Governor Katie Hobbs, a true champion for Arizona, for its residents, and for the men's Final Four.
Hi, good morning, everyone. It is great to welcome the NCAA to Arizona and here to Eastlake Park, an integral part of this community and central piece of Phoenix history. It was here that Phoenix's civil rights leaders came together as they pushed for equality, and today this center serves as both a reminder of the past and a place to recognize progress. Today, we are lucky to be celebrating two things. We are officially just 80 days away from the start of the NCAA Men's Final Four, and this historic facility will soon have refurbished basketball courts both inside and outside. As you know, Arizona is no stranger to hosting major sporting events, having been the home of Super Bowl 57, the Waste Management Phoenix Open, and the World Baseball Classic just last year. And each time, we show off why Arizona does it best, and that's exactly what we'll do again in April. Tourism is a big part of Arizona's booming economy, and the men's Final Four will have a major impact on businesses across the state, especially in the lodging, hospitality, restaurant, and transportation sectors. In 2017, the last time Arizona hosted this event, the Final Four generated $324 million in economic impact. And I have no doubt that this time around will be just as successful, if not more. But the benefits of the men's Final Four go far beyond the economic impact. This event also leaves a positive legacy that will endure long after the games have been played. Today, you'll hear more about important community projects that will take place in the run-up to the 2024 Men's Final Four, one of them right here at Eastlake Community Center, a gathering place enjoyed by so many local residents. I want to thank the NCAA for choosing Phoenix to host this iconic championship for the second time in 7 years. No doubt our partnership will continue far beyond this year's games. And I also want to wish Arizona's teams the best of luck as they pursue their dream of playing in State Farm Stadium for a championship. So to our Arizona State Sun Devils, University of Arizona Wildcats, Grand Canyon University Antelopes, and my alma mater's team, the Northern Arizona University Lumberjacks, I know you will all make Arizona proud. Thank you so much.
Governor, thank you so much for being with us and really for all of your support. It means the world. Okay, and now please welcome Councilwoman Keisha Hodge Washington, who represents Phoenix City Council District 8. We are in her home right now, and so we're happy to hear from Councilwoman Washington.
Good morning. Good morning and welcome to District 8. It's my pleasure to have you here today. Eastlake has a long and glorious history in the Phoenix community. It was established back in 1889 as a gathering place for neighborhood meetings, picnics, concerts, sport events, and other recreational activities for African Americans. The center and its namesake played a central role in the civil rights movement in Arizona. It hosted numerous rallies and visits from civil rights leaders such as Dr. Martin Luther King. The park was also the starting point for many civic marches to the Arizona State Capitol, and has hosted a large Juneteenth celebration for many years. And on Monday, we started our annual MLK March right on the street next door. I am so excited to announce that the indoor and outdoor basketball courts here at the historic Eastlake Park will be refurbished in the NCAA's Final Four Legacy Project presented by Degree Deodorant. You will hear more of the details of this project later in the program, but I am so grateful for the support of the NCAA, Unilever, and the Phoenix Local Organizing Committee to provide a positive and lasting impact on our community. Thank you each and every one of you for being here today, and have a great day.
Thank you so much for joining us. We are really excited about the project here and the NCAA Men's Final Four Legacy Project presented by Degree Deodorant. I cannot wait to see the unveil in April. Now we're going to roll a quick sizzle video before we get into our panel, so check out the screens.
Phoenix was born for basketball. A place where the love for the game runs deeper than the canyons, and the excitement is as endless as the Arizona sky. In Phoenix, basketball fans are not just spectators. They are the heartbeat of the game. This level of passion is the reason why the 2024 NCAA Men's Final Four is coming to the Valley from April 5th to the 8th. The madness tips off with the NCAA Men's Final Four Fan Fest, presented by Capital One, a sports wonderland full of interactive games with special celebrity and athlete appearances for fans of all ages to enjoy. The March Madness Music Festival, presented by AT&T, Capital One, and Coca-Cola, turns Phoenix into the hottest ticket in the country with a free 3-day concert series featuring some of the biggest acts in music. The day before the semifinal games, Reese's Men's Final Four Friday and the NABC Reese's All-Star Game take place. Each one of the Final Four teams will take the court at the stadium for a day of open practices. A rare chance to see top student athletes close, real close, and absolutely free. Join us at Tip-Off Tailgate, presented by Nissan, for the best pregame party in the city. Fans can enjoy pep rallies, musical performances, basketball-themed games, plus food and beverages. The Men's Final Four Dribble, presented by Buick, is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for kids 18 and under to receive a free official NCAA basketball to dribble along a route through scenic downtown Phoenix. And then, of course, the madness. The top 4 teams face off in the most anticipated college basketball games of the year. Phoenix, you've been waiting for this moment, and it's finally here. The Valley, the passionate fans, the atmosphere. Everything is ready.
Well, we are going to get started with our panel. The first one is going to focus on college basketball and the NCAA tournament. And it's my pleasure to welcome Dr. Charles McClellan on your right. Dr. McClellan is chair of the NCAA Division I Men's Basketball Committee, as well as the Southwestern Athletic Conference Commissioner. Please welcome Dr. McClellan. Next to him is Dan Gavitt, NCAA Senior Vice President of Basketball. And Josh Bartelstein, who's still tired from last night's game, apparently.
I feel like I played in the game. I was just watching.
You sound like you played in the game. So Josh is here because he was the captain of the 2013 Michigan Men's Final Four team, in addition to being our CEO of our very own Phoenix Suns and Mercury. Welcome, Josh.
Thank you.
Okay, so Charles, we're going to get started with you. Tell us what it is about Phoenix, the greater area, the Valley, the state, that really makes this a place that you want to bring this marquee NCAA event.
Jay, thank you for the question. And obviously, dealing with the basketball vernacular, that question is a layup for me. It's very easy. The weather. We got here and some people told us that it was cold. It's not cold at all. I left 9 degrees in Alabama. 70 this weekend. This is what Phoenix and the Valley is all about, the magnificent weather. And we know that it's going to be a long, cold winter. To be able to come here in the spring, celebrate, and be able to immerse ourselves in the culture that's here within this community, it's, mind-blowing to us within the committee. Second, and it's somewhat underrated, a lot of our championships are in the South and in the East, but now that we're in the mountain time zone, it's going to be somewhat unique to be able to start early and finish early. And again, we think that is going to lead to a lot of additional spending within the community, because they're going to have additional time to visit Phoenix and visit all of the wonderful restaurants and all of the things that Phoenix has to offer. And thirdly, being from the Deep South, we kind of pride ourselves on, the community. And I feel the same here as I do, in the Deep South. Everyone is very collegial. They're nice. Have to say hats off to Arizona State for the magnificent job that they've done. The local organizing committee, Visit Phoenix, the volunteers. It's just the people. And that's ultimately what makes a Final Four. And that's why we've come back to Phoenix, because you put on a magnificent show.
Yeah, thank you. That means a lot to us. And Dan, you were here for the 2017 Men's Final Four, the first time we hosted. I'd just love to hear kind of what you thought about that experience, why you wanted to bring it back so quickly in 2024.
Well, incredible experience for the teams that were fortunate enough to be here. It was only this is only the second time in the last 29 years that the NCAA has had the Men's Final Four in the western part of the United States. The first time, of course, was in 2017. And as Charles noted, it was just an incredible experience for the four teams that advanced here. And we know that because every year after the Final Four, we make a campus visit to the four schools that were fortunate enough to be in the Men's Final Four. We visit with the president, athletic director, coaches, student athletes. And we know for certain that North Carolina, Gonzaga, Oregon, and South Carolina, who were fortunate enough to play here, two of them for the first time ever in the Men's Final Four, had an incredible experience here in Phoenix in the Valley of the Sun. And we're fortunate and know that whoever advances and is lucky enough and talented enough to get here in April will have that same kind of experience. Couldn't be more thrilled to be back.
Excellent. Thank you. Well, just sticking with that kind of history, I mean, you have amazing basketball roots. It's in your DNA, Dan. There's nothing you haven't done in college basketball. But talk about kind of the history of Arizona and what our history is around championships and March Madness.
Well, incredible history, and of course, continuing to grow. This will be the 25th time that the state of Arizona has hosted March Madness games. The very first time was in 1974 in a brand new McHale Center in Tucson, where they hosted the West Regional. And the very first game ever played there was a 111-100 triple overtime game that UCLA beat Dayton, thanks to the heroics of Bill Walton quite a while ago. Incredible history. And since then, we've had games, of course, in Phoenix and Glendale and Tempe. This will be the 7th time that games will be held here in the Valley of the Sun, and just the 6th time since 1999 that we've been here. So you can tell that the NCAA loves bringing its premier event here to the Valley of the Sun, and will continue to do so, I'm certain. The first game of the semifinals on April 6th will be the 100th game of March Madness played in the state of Arizona. And we're looking forward, of course, to bringing the Women's Final Four back here to Phoenix, to your...
Sure, all right, can't wait.
We are too.
In 2026.
Yeah, we are too. Thanks, Dan. Well, Charles, the NCAA tournament selection process certainly gets a lot of interest from media and fans. And with the regular season halfway over, which is unbelievable, it's flying by, what's the committee focused on? Can you tell us who you're going to invite to the big dance? Can you give us any insider information? But just what can you tell us about the process?
Michigan's struggling right now, so let's make sure you evaluate the whole season, not just right now. We're under 500, but we're coming.
Oh,
okay.
Okay.
You're seeing our talking point.
We're coming.
Well, we actually start evaluating games on day one. So our process literally started back in November. We have committee members that break up different conferences to the tune of a primary for 3 or 4 and then a secondary. So each member will have approximately 7 conferences. So we want to make sure that no stone is unturned when it comes to basketball, whether that's injuries, coach availability, just any intricate detail when it comes to evaluating these teams. We have so many metrics that we look at. When you walk into the committee room, there are 4 monitors, right? And this monitor has all of these different matrix and information. So there's literally no stone unturned. We'll look at every team. It's 360 plus Division I teams that we'll take a look at. And ironically, we have a monitoring call this afternoon that we'll get together, and our committee members will start to hash out what teams they like, what teams they think needs that additional improvement, which we call under the consideration board. In approximately 3 weeks, we'll get together in Indianapolis and we'll have our top 16 unveiled. That'll be on our television network that Saturday as well. So there's a lot of work that goes into it prior to us getting into the selection room here in a very short couple of weeks.
Wow. I mean, did you have any idea, Josh, that was happening when you were in the men's Final Four?
Our job was just to win. If you won, it took care of all of it and all the details. But I would follow it. I was the analytics nerd who was following Twitter on my phone to see what the rankings were, because this is when you guys started releasing things. They do the mock simulations of it. So I was following very closely. If I would have known, these guys would have been texting them saying to move us up a little bit, but it all worked out.
You've got their numbers now.
I sure do.
You're good.
Sure do. I'll be working them all the way through.
So Josh, let's talk about your experience, right? The student athlete experience is really important to the NCAA. Obviously, you've been through it. We love hearing your firsthand experience as a captain of the Michigan team. But what do you remember about that run up to being in Atlanta and just the tournament in general?
It still gives me the chills. Besides meeting my wife, the next best thing that ever happened to me was playing in the Final Four. It was the coolest experience ever. As a kid growing up, my dream was to play in the Final Four. It was to see the video that plays and then all the fans. And it's like the life of a rock star. So you land and you get a police escort, which is the coolest thing ever. And there's a band playing in the lobby. You're like, I've really made it now. I was here. I've gone straight downhill ever since then. But from practice to the games, and it's a whole event. For every single night you have something. And you're the talk of the media world. You're the talk of pop culture, sports. And they do such a good job with it. Every detail is intentional. So for the student athletes coming, you think you know, but you truly have no idea how life-changing it will be. And I always say, if I didn't get to play in that and get to be the captain of that team, I'm not sure I'm sitting here. The doors that open for me to be on that level is, I think, a big reason why I have the opportunity I have now.
Yeah. And did you take any mementos from that game that you want to talk about?
I did.
Or?
Do you still let them take the chair if you play in the national championship? And one other point, we didn't win, but we technically didn't lose because it got vacated from Louisville. So we didn't win or lose. We just kind of were in it. But we got to keep our chair, and my chair was more worn out because I didn't play in the game, but I was on the bench. So my chair is still my office chair in my home here, and I look at it every single day. My wife wants me to get rid of it and get a nicer chair, but never. That chair's staying with me through thick and thin.
That chair is staying around. I mean, there's a lot of talk about the mementos and the memories that all the athletes take with them.
It's the best.
And when we think about, and this is really for all three of you, I mean, as you said, when they step off the airplane in Arizona, what do we want that experience to be like? What do you expect?
Something they'll never forget. Literally, the next generation of Josh Bartelstein sitting up here a number of years later saying it was one of the highlights of their playing career and their life.
Their life, yeah.
Yeah.
Not just from a student-athlete standpoint. I think it's one of those breathtaking things for everyone that's involved. Coming to the cities, the police escorts. This is one of the best, and I'm biased, I would say the best athletic event in the world. I mean, it goes on for 3 weeks. You're making literally individuals' dreams come true, and I think that's a very special thing.
I would just add it off for this great perspective. Like, for these student athletes, their entire dream was to get to this point playing basketball. Their families took them to AAU tournaments and youth tournaments to get to this point, and you make it here and you feel what that is. So I just hope everyone, when they get here, they take one step back. Of course, you want to win the whole thing, but just enjoy the moment because it all is so fragile and goes so fast. But it truly is a life-changing event.
Yeah.
When you think about it in the sport of basketball, too, you get the Olympic Games, of course, the NBA Finals. The ultimate in basketball is to play in the NBA and play for a world championship. But at no time will a player ever in their career play in front of 70,000 people than except at the men's Final Four. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience to play in a building that big with that many eyes focused on your game.
Well, thank you all. I love the insights. I love the perspective. This just got me even more excited about what we're creating here over the next 80 days. So thank you guys for your time.
Thank you.
And we will ask our second panel to come up.
Thank you.
Thanks, Josh.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Yeah, we're still on the mic. Thank you, Charles, very much.
Great job.
Welcome.
Do we have to stand up for the Sun Devils?
Wrap it up. We love our ASU band. Thank you. Way to bring it. Okay. Our second panel is going to focus on men's Final Four events, legacy projects, and really Phoenix as a host destination. And we've got such a great story to tell. It's my pleasure to welcome on your right, Joanne Scott, NCAA Managing Director, Men's Basketball Championships. And I have to give Joanne a shout out. She is the tip of the spear at the NCAA when it comes to this event. And we just appreciate your support and your partnership. You've made it really special for all of us. So thank you. And then Jeff Barton in the middle, Phoenix City Manager. We're really glad to have you, and we appreciate all your efforts around hosting this event. So thank you.
Thank you.
And then Lisa Urias, who I introduced earlier, is on our board of directors. She is also the CEO and executive deputy director of the Arizona Office of Tourism. Lisa, thank you.
Sure.
You're so important to everything we're doing. Joanne, I want to start with you. We're sitting here at the East Lake Community Center. Can you give us some insights into the NCAA Legacy Project presented by Degree Deodorant and just why it's important to the NCAA? And I remember you talking about this over a year ago and what it was going to mean to this community, and I'd love to hear your perspective.
Yeah, sure. It's awesome to be here, and like Charles, happy to be doing a press conference outside. We're from Indianapolis, where it's I think 9 degrees, so we're just thrilled to be here. But before I go there, I just want to give a big shout out to the Phoenix Local Organizing Committee, to the City of Phoenix. This event and the planning over the last 12 months. The NCAA is in Indianapolis. We come once a month, but this event would not take place with all the wonderful folks. Shout out to our hosts, Arizona State. Ray, thanks. Chiz, thanks. And the band. You guys have all been very supportive of everything we've done for the last 12 months. So just thanks to all of you. We're about education and higher education and letting kids dream. And so I think this is one of my favorite parts about the event week of the Final Four and leading up to it is because we like to find locations where, we can help kids dream. So this project is a legacy event for the Final Four. It is brought to you by Unilever, our corporate partner, the Phoenix Local Organizing Committee, and the NCAA. It's about just revitalizing this community and doing what we can do. This project will take place from today moving forward. We will be back the week of Final Four, so we invite you all to come back to our ribbon cutting on what the construction over the next few months. But I also want to give a shout out to the Arizona Sports and Tourism Authority because they have really stepped up as well to help us fund this project. So what is the project? As we said here before you, I will say to you, there's about 13, I think, counted. Inside, we will do a new court. We will do new hoops. We will install backboards. We will have new benches, new bleachers, scoreboard, shot clocks. We're going to put in a new weight room. We're even going to put in a new weight room floor. And then outdoors, with the outdoor court, same thing, court, hoops, backboards. And then, again, education, is of all aspects of not just sport, and art is a big part of that. And so we're going to do a mural as well with a local artist as well with the center. So stay tuned. Like I said, welcome back so you can kind of see all those improvements when we come back. So when we're visiting facilities, this facility is about 20,000 kids annually that will use this facility, and 8,000 inside and about 8,000 outside. So we hope to provide an opportunity for them to keep dreaming. And I know the Martin Luther King Arizona Classic is held here, so by next year, the facility will be ready to go after we do all this improvement in the next few months. So this is where we hope the next gen, we like to use the word next gen. What are we doing for the next gen? Mm-hmm. So this is where we hope the next gen of Josh and players will come to us at the NCAA and colleges and universities.
Yeah. Thanks, Joanne. It's really, it's such a cool project. There's so much history here in Phoenix. And so just your investment and commitment to make it really special. And I think, as you said, kind of for the next 100 years, we're really excited about it. So thank you. And so when we look beyond that, kind of tell us how men's Final Four can be consumed by any fan in the Valley, even if they don't have a ticket to the game. We talked about it as like a larger-than-life event. Mm-hmm. You've done it 10 times now, so you know the ins and outs of all of it.
Yeah, so as the video said, the video showed you a lot of it, but I just want to touch on a couple of things. I use this word, and you should use this word with your friends and family. No ticket, no problem. I think too many folks think that you just have a Final Four ticket and you go to the Final Four games. There is so much programming that will go on. You probably saw the banners as you walked in. But the first is the Final Four Fan Fest presented by Capital One, which is at the Convention Center. That will take place April 5th through 8th. There's a lot of athlete signings, autograph signings. There's a lot of appearances, a lot of interactives. If you download the Final Four app, it will send messages as to when all those folks are coming to sign autographs. So pay attention to that. That's the first thing. And then today we are going to let the first 1,000 people that go to NCAA.com/men's Final Four and use the code TIPOFF get free FanFest tickets. First 1,000 to register. It's a limit of 4, but we will be today on that website. If you register, you will receive free FanFest.
Did you say free?
I did say free.
Free.
I did say free.
Like the I like the F word.
So that's a good segue into the next one. The Reese's Final Four Friday is a free event. We saw incredible crowds at this last time in 17. It's the Final Four teams. If you don't have a ticket to go watch, you can come watch all 4 teams practice. I like it because you get to see the coaches interact. You get to see the more personal side of the coaches. So those Final Four practices will take place on Reese's Final Four Friday at the stadium, followed by the NABC All-Star Game, which is a high school graduating or college graduating seniors that will be participating in an All-Star Game. So another great event with no ticket, no problem. And then on Sunday, the Final Four Dribble presented by Buick will be held here in downtown Phoenix. Everyone that registers 18 and under will receive a free basketball and T-shirt. And there's a little route you follow, and you'll go into the Capital One Fan Fest for free again on that day with the dribble. So if you participate in the dribble, you can register now. That's also on the website, and that is limited. So make sure you register or tell folks to register ahead of time. And then the tip-off tailgate presented by Nissan is out at the stadium on Final Four Friday and on game days. There's going to be a Ferris wheel. I know folks like Ferris wheel, but out on the great lawn that you all know, there'll be all kinds of activations there as well, pre-game, so including the Ferris wheel. So lots of beverages and music and so forth. So all kinds of fan-friendly events.
Yeah, and I love the idea of going to the app, downloading it, so you can just
totally
track everything that's going to happen and when to be where to be when. One of my favorite events that you didn't mention is March Madness Music Festival. And I had a chance to go to that last year in Houston, saw Tim McGraw. It was an amazing show. And so that's also the F word.
Yes, that is free.
Yeah.
That is free as well. And that's at Hans Park, not too far away. And so that will be on Final Four Friday and Saturday and Sunday. And our great corporate champions, AT&T Block Party, is on Friday night. The Coke Studio Live will be held on Saturday. And the Capital One Jam Fest is on Sunday. So stay tuned for exciting updates on that. In 17, I think it was Keith Urban. It was the Chainsmokers and Aerosmith. So stay tuned, pay attention, because we will be revealing those artists between now and the Final Four.
So we're not revealing that today?
Well, actually, no.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay. Where's the drum roll?
Total drum roll. Okay. So Joanne, just quickly, we are wearing our sneakers. So just talk to us a little bit about Coaches versus Cancer, because it's such a historic.
Yeah, we love this program. The NCAA is a big supporter of the National Association of Basketball Coaches. It's their 30th anniversary they're celebrating this year. And so we are partnering with them. This will all start. You'll start to see coaches next week with Suits and Sneakers Week. So we are here to help promote that just for early screenings and with cancer prevention. So you'll see a lot of celebration of that as well this Final Four.
Awesome. Great program. Thank you, Joanne, for all that info. So, Lisa, Governor Hobbs talked about really the importance of major events, right, and the impact they have on our Arizona economy. Talk to us about what you think makes Arizona this kind of go-to destination for these major events, and especially the men's Final Four in April.
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you, Joanne, NC2A, for your investment in this facility in particular. I know we grew up not far from here. My brother played here all the time, so it is so important to this community, and thank you for that important investment. Well, Arizona is such a beautiful place, and we're really good at doing these events. Governor mentioned $324 million in economic impact from the last Final Four, but we host many, many major events throughout Arizona, and we have an incredible infrastructure. Our roads, our freeways, our airports are second to none. And where else can you go to an event in Phoenix and be in one of the 7 natural wonders of the world in the same day if you want to? We've got beautiful resorts. We've got boutique hotels. We've got incredible local fare, restaurants and bars. There's so much that we offer here. I think also it's important to note that for Arizona, the way that we create these kinds of events really is a team effort. It's the state, it's the city, it's our local organizing committees, it's our tourism and sports authorities, and many others. So it takes all of us to really pull it off and do it in a way that is as memorable as Josh was talking about. And I will say, Dr. McClellan, you talked about being warm here. We're the Valley people. I see you out there. It's cold today. Anything under 65, we're a little cold.
Apparently, we should not be complaining.
Yes, evidently.
And when you touched on the statewide impact of these events, and so as visitors come to Arizona, what do we want to make sure that we're telling them that they experience? Because there are so many great things to explore here.
Yeah, I mean, some of our role is really to help people understand all of the things that they can experience while they're here, in addition to the great activities that are part of the Final Four. There are many, many things that Phoenicians love to do as well. We go out to all kinds of places within the valley and within the state. So driving them to our rural communities, helping them see what's happening in Tucson. We have a UNESCO gastronomy designation in Tucson. We have beautiful borderlands. We have wineries all over the state.
I'm hearing more and more about the wine country. I've got to be
honest. The wine
honest.
country has really grown up.
Yeah.
In Arizona, and I'm a little competitive, so when I go to these national tourism industry events and they have the Sonoma wines and they have the Washington wines and I'm like, wait, we need the Arizona wines there because we have definitely arrived, and so there are many beautiful things to do. So that's really what we work to do, is help people explore what they have, what options they have to do while they're in Arizona.
Lisa, thank you.
Of course.
Well, you mentioned our airport. I want to get to Jeff. I was so proud of our airport. I love going through our airport, and when it was voted by the Wall Street Journal as the #1 airport, and those are high marks.
They are.
Yeah, so just talk to us about how you think about hosting these major events. You do an amazing job with the fan events, every single time. You've obviously got a great playbook, but tell us how you think about it.
Sure. First and foremost, I want to thank you, Jay, for giving me the opportunity. I also want to thank the NCAA and the host committee. And Joanne talked about this legacy project. As former budget director for the city of Phoenix, I love the word free. I love the project being put in. It's not something that I have to figure out how to pay for. So that's first and foremost. But I think as the 5th largest city in the country for first and foremost. We have to accept the fact that we are in the big event business. All eyes are on us. We've hosted everything from the Super Bowl to the NBA All-Star Game to the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. We just recently hosted a World Series that the Diamondbacks unfortunately didn't pull off. We're hosting. We were there. This is our second men's final NCAA event that we're hosting. We've got the women's in 26. We've got the WNBA All-Star Game in 24. So we accept the fact that we're in the big event business. We actually we revel in the fact of putting those on, but I also fall back on the fact that I've got the best municipal employees in the entire country. And so those 15,000 employees are what makes this work. And just like the teams that are coming here for these games, it's all about practice and preparation. And so we go through countless models and scenarios of trying to make sure that we have every aspect of this right. And so it's planned to the hilt. And so again, that's what makes it special. I think the other thing that makes it special is for those that are here, you don't have to go to the event like Joanne talked about. It's the experience itself. And there's something for everyone. I remember my first exposure to the NCAA. My aunt was a tutor for the '85 Villanova team that won the NCAA tournament. And then my cousin, Rodney Monroe, was an all-star guard from NC State. So,
And we've had our U of A folks.
Right. So, those are things that are great. But then even people that don't follow the sport, your office pools, all those things that just bring a heightened amount of energy to the state and to the event. And it's fun.
Yeah. Awesome. I love it. Well, is there anything that you think about you want to make sure that fans are experiencing when they do come to the Final Four, or how do you want them to feel after they've, as you said, kind of taken part in all this grandness?
I think the thing that makes Phoenix unique, and I'm also having to recognize the fact that we're a part of the thing that makes this work. And there are other regional neighbor cities like Glendale that are our partners in making this thing work. I want to recognize them, but I think the thing to remember is that we want to accommodate everybody. We want to make sure that everyone has a good experience, like Dan talked about, and Dr. McClellan talked about, and Josh talked about. We want to be a welcoming city, a welcoming environment for all. So we want to make sure that everyone enjoys themselves from the time they land in the best airport in the country until the time they leave.
Awesome. I love it. Well, any final comments about events? Anything you think we've left out? Is everybody ready to phone a friend about the free tickets to FanFest?
Arizona's a basketball community, from our sons that we've had from the beginning to our wonderful college ball players. So we're very excited about the Final Four.
I'm excited, and I'm excited to actually be able to plan these. But Josh, I need to plan a parade. So someone win a championship. I'm tired of planning them and nothing happening. So just
we should have done it for the Diamondbacks. We should have done it anyway.
A lot of pressure on you, Josh. I don't know if you're feeling it. You seem to be taking it well.
We've had a theme since we started planning 82 and sunny. And we've shared that that March is coming, especially with the winter we're having. But when we Google the weather in Phoenix in April on these dates, it's 82 and sunny. So I think the weather always has a big part of it. The other thing I would say is just a shout out to all the people behind the scenes, like the band, the Arizona State Band. There's so many people on large events like this that the general public does not know behind the scenes. I'm going to give a special shout out to the two people behind the backdrop holding it up. You might not even have noticed it, but that's what happens in a Final Four. That's what happens in a Final Four is that you have to be you just have to be, willing to do whatever's asked of you. And there's a lot of folks behind the scenes. So that's just a shout out to them.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank all of our panelists for giving us a primer on all the great things that are going to come over the next 80 days. In addition to that lasting legacy that will be here in Arizona. Before we wrap up, I do want to remind everyone about the events. And so we've got a screen graphic that kind of gives an overview because we covered a lot this morning. I want to just put an exclamation point on two of the things we touched on. The first is the first 1,000 people that go to ncaa.com/men's Final Four and use the code TIPOFF will get free tickets to Men's Final Four Fan Fest presented by Capital One. I'm excited about that, and I'm actually going to call my family because, as you said, they're also looking for tickets to stuff. And then second, I would like to point out the registration opens today for the Men's Final Four Dribble presented by Buick. This is for kids 18 and under. They're going to get a free basketball, a free T-shirt, and they're going to bounce their way around downtown Phoenix for free. So that's going to be a really fun one on Sunday of the weekend. We want to thank the NCAA and your corporate champions and partners and all of our local supporters. I see so many familiar faces here today. We appreciate you coming out on this chilly Arizona morning. And we do want to thank Unilever, the City of Phoenix, and Arizona Sports and Tourism Authority again for their collaboration on this incredible legacy event. I really can't wait to see the transformation come April. So with that, for the media, we will have speakers available for one-on-one interviews afterwards, and you can see Andy and Kristen, Andy up front, to get that going. I would like to ask all of our speakers to return to the stage for a very quick group photo. And we are concluding our program. And again, thank you all for your support of the Final Four. It's going to be an absolutely great ride. Thanks for coming today.